Scientists say it's a matter of when, not if, there will be a major earthquake in the new Madrid Seismic Zone, centered about 160 miles south of St. Louis.
We all remember the devastating New Madrid earthquakes of the 1800s. Could the ground shake so violently again? The New Madrid Seismic Zone is still active, even if earthquake prediction is still difficult. The ground beneath our feet may hold a hidden threat. Together, let's uncover the potential for a major earthquake and prepare for what lies beneath. Chapter 1. The Mystery of 1811's Earthquake. In 1811, the central U.S. was rocked by a series of unprecedented earthquakes centered near New Madrid, Missouri. These powerful tremors, the strongest ever recorded in the region, defied expectations by shaking a vast area, from bustling New Orleans to distant New York City, a distance comparable to the vast stretch between the UK and Greece. Remarkably, these weren't isolated events. Over a staggering 2,000 quakes, some exceeding a magnitude of 7, rattled the region for nearly 2 whole months. Traditionally, earthquakes have been understood to occur at the dynamic boundaries of tectonic plates, where massive slabs of earth constantly grind against each other. The stable interiors of these plates were thought to be earthquake-free. The New Madrid quakes shattered this long-held belief, highlighting the very real possibility of powerful intraplate earthquakes occurring within continents. Understanding the mechanisms behind these events is crucial for ensuring safety and preparing for future hazards. Geologists are diligently studying the New Madrid Seismic Zone, where ongoing minor tremors hint at continuous subterranean activity. Similar rumblings have also been detected within other parts of the North American plate's interior. Historically, intraplate earthquakes have demonstrated a capacity for significant destruction. The 2011 Virginia quake, though moderate at a magnitude of 5.8, caused substantial financial losses. The 1886 Charleston quake, with a much stronger magnitude of 7.3, proved even more devastating. Notably, the New Madrid earthquakes unleashed a level of force comparable to the deadly 1906 San Francisco quake. Research suggests a potentially alarming pattern. Major earthquakes may have repeatedly struck the New Madrid zone every 200–800 years. Based on this data, the USGS estimates a concerning probability, a 25–40% chance of a significant earthquake, magnitude 6+, and a 7–10% chance of a catastrophic one, magnitude 7.5+, striking the area within the next 50 years. These probabilities are undeniably worrying, particularly considering the densely populated nature of the region. However, it's important to remember that these are estimates derived from a limited dataset. While scientists are diligently piecing together the unique geological makeup of the New Madrid area, a complete understanding of the stress buildup and release mechanisms responsible for these earthquakes remains elusive. This knowledge gap significantly hinders efforts to accurately predict earthquakes and effectively assess future risks. The story of the New Madrid earthquakes serves as a potent reminder of the immense power held by unseen forces within the earth. It also underscores the ongoing scientific quest to unravel these mysteries and ultimately predict, or at least prepare for future tremors. Chapter 2. Madrid's Final Night of Silence Before Chaos. New Madrid, a young American town nestled on the Mississippi, boasted a rich past under French and Spanish rule. Founded in 1789 by American allies of the Spanish, it served as a vital buffer zone against westward American expansion. Generous land grants further fueled its growth, transforming New Madrid into a thriving port by the early 1800s. However, in 1808, the Louisiana Purchase brought Spanish rule to an end, officially integrating New Madrid into the United States in 1804. Just 8 years later, unimaginable catastrophe struck. A series of violent earthquakes ripped through the landscape. Witnessing the tremors firsthand, a group on a nearby boat watched in horror as leaves on distant trees danced wildly and a nearby oak tree met its abrupt end and snapped in half. The once peaceful forest became a scene of unimaginable chaos, with trees swaying like reeds in a storm and crashing branches creating a deafening roar. Faced with a life-or-death decision, the crew chose to remain anchored amidst the violently thrashing river. This turned out to be a fortunate choice. The very spot where they had been anchored had vanished, devoured by the unforgiving river after a powerful earthquake. Uprooted trees, now deadly hazards, threatened any boats attempting to navigate. As daylight broke, a horrifying scene unfolded. The initial tremors, accompanied by a booming sound initially mistaken for collapsing riverbanks, revealed a terrifying truth. Volcanic eruptions spewing fiery material from fissures ripped open by the quakes. The once clear river water churned into a muddy nightmare as a constant rumble filled the air. Geysers erupted near their boat, launching a terrifying cocktail of ancient trees, mud, and debris high into the sky. The ground split open and slammed shut, spewing poisonous fumes and leaving gaping wounds in the earth. The relentless violence continued for an entire day, with the earth refusing to settle and the riverbed constantly shifting beneath them. The once majestic riverbanks crumbled, taking even the oldest trees with them. Entire islands vanished, leaving behind a desolate landscape as a grim testament to the destructive power unleashed. Chapter 3: Mississippi's Earthquake Catastrophe. The tremors that shuddered through the region on December 16, 1811, were a horrifying prelude to what was to come. Over the next 2 agonizing months, the earth continued to rumble with aftershocks, punctuated by 2 more powerful earthquakes. These weren't isolated tremors, but a terrifying symphony of destruction orchestrated by a complex fault system lying deep beneath the surface. On February 7, 1812, the strongest earthquake, estimated at a bone-chilling 7.5 to 7.8 magnitude, roared through the heart of the new Madrid Seismic Zone. This final act of seismic fury differed dramatically from the previous events. Unlike the tremors that primarily shook the landscape, this earthquake caused the land itself to rise dramatically, altering the course of the mighty Mississippi River in an unimaginable way. Historical accounts speak of a staggering 20-foot difference in elevation on either side of the river, a transformation so profound that it even reversed the flow of the current for nearly an hour. One harrowing account from a boatman captures the raw chaos unleashed by this final earthquake. Awakened by a deafening roar, he found his boat tossed violently amidst a downpour of falling trees. His desperate scramble for safety resulted in him being swept upstream at a terrifying speed. After encountering a terrifying waterfall, a testament to the upheaval of the land, he eventually reached a scene of utter devastation in New Madrid. The once bustling town lay sunken 12 feet below its previous level, completely abandoned by its shaken inhabitants. New Madrid, situated near the epicenter and at the point of the river's disruption, received the brunt of the earthquake's wrath. A courageous teacher named Eliza Bryan bravely documented the final, terrifying quake. She described a scene of violent shaking, followed by a chilling withdrawal of the river, leaving boats stranded on the newly exposed riverbed. Then, in a terrifying reversal, the water surged back with a vengeance, rising a staggering 15 to 20 feet and overwhelming the banks. This monstrous wave swept away stranded boats, leaving behind a trail of destruction, uprooted trees, scattered wreckage, and in a tragedy that epitomized the earthquake's brutality, the remains of a boat carrying a mother and her 6 children. Chapter 4: Hidden Quake. Countdown should we be alarmed, beneath the Mississippi floodplains lies a hidden danger, a massive layer of loose, wet sand hundreds of meters deep. Deposited over time by the river and ancient oceans, this sand creates a vast underground reservoir for freshwater, but also poses a serious earthquake threat. Unlike structures built on solid rock, cities in this region, like Memphis, are founded on shaky ground, a thick layer, up to a kilometer in some places, of water-saturated sand and mud. While beneficial for water storage, this composition makes the area highly vulnerable to earthquakes. Saturated soil amplifies tremors compared to solid ground. Imagine shaking a container of marbles. The contents settle. When an earthquake hits wet soil, the trapped water has nowhere to go quickly. This pressure reduces friction between soil particles, causing them to separate. In strong earthquakes, above 5.5 magnitude, this can be disastrous, transforming the ground into a thick, unstable liquid. This phenomenon, known as soil liquefaction, is a major concern in the new Madrid Seismic Zone. Essentially, it turns solid ground into quicksand, leading to widespread destruction. Buildings can sink or tilt, underground utilities can rupture and float, and the foundations of roads, bridges, and dams can fail, triggering landslides and ground subsidence. Even if a building survives the initial shaking, the liquefied soil beneath it can still cause its collapse. The new Madrid earthquakes serve as a terrifying reminder of this danger. Historical accounts mention water and sand erupting from the ground, and blows caused by pressure forcing the liquefied mixture upwards. The 2011 Christchurch earthquake exemplifies this. Though moderate in magnitude, widespread soil liquefaction caused immense damage, making it New Zealand's costliest natural disaster. The cracks and holes left behind in the new Madrid seismic zone are a stark reminder of the potential violence that lies beneath the surface. Understanding the area's geology and the dangers of soil liquefaction is crucial for preparing for and mitigating the potential devastation of future earthquakes. Chapter 5. When the Earth spits, sand scattered like silent sentinels across the Mississippi embayment lie stark reminders of the Earth's ancient wrath. Small volcanoes formed entirely of sand, some surprisingly large, erupt from the otherwise serene landscape. These chilling phenomena, known as sand blows, erupt when violent quakes liquefy the ground, causing it to erupt in geysers of sand and debris. Their presence serves as an unsettling echo of the immense forces unleashed by past earthquakes in this region. The New Madrid quakes weren't unique in their ability to trigger such eruptions. Historical accounts and archaeological evidence tell a similar tale from places as diverse as India, Yellowstone National Park, and even Italy. A particularly devastating example occurred in Italy in 1783, where an earthquake liquefied the soil, causing the ground to erupt in geysers of sand and debris, leaving behind gaping craters that swallowed entire buildings in a single, horrifying moment. Beyond the immediate destructive power of these sand blows, the vast area impacted by the new Madrid earthquakes presents a cause for significant concern. Unlike their western counterparts, eastern earthquakes travel much farther due to the unique geological makeup of the region. The Earth's crust in the eastern U.S. is denser and older than in the west. This denser crust acts like a giant metal plate, transmitting vibrations far more efficiently than softer rock formations. For example, while the shaking intensity of a California earthquake weakens significantly after just a few hundred kilometers, a similar earthquake in the east, like the one that struck Virginia in 2011, caused strong tremors even in Washington, D.C., over 200 kilometers further than expected. This eastern vulnerability is further amplified by the presence of soft, water-saturated ground layers, making landslides significantly more likely during earthquakes. This east-west disparity is tragically underscored by recent events. The 2011 Virginia earthquake and the 2016 Oklahoma earthquake, both similar in strength to some of the new Madrid tremors, highlight the difference. While they released similar amounts of energy, the eastern quakes impacted a much larger area due to the unique geological conditions. This comparison throws into stark relief a crucial point. The impact of an earthquake is heavily influenced by its location. The East's denser crust and softer ground act as amplifiers, making the region far more susceptible to widespread damage from earthquakes. This vulnerability is compounded by the fact that earthquake preparedness in the East pales in comparison to the well-established protocols in California. With millions living in the heart of America, a major New Madrid earthquake could be catastrophic. Are we facing a sleeping giant, or is our understanding of this seismic zone incomplete? The answer to this question holds immense significance for the future of a densely populated region. Hit that like and subscribe button for more mysteries.